Hey, good morning. This is Chris Chen. Welcome to my channel. Now, today I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you tips about whether you should buy a car or a house. Now, the decision is yours, but I'm just sharing some tips for you to consider. Nowadays I realize that there are a lot of youngsters, they're driving expensive cars. Now, when I say expensive cars means the car could be way even beyond some of their salary. All right, and you realize there's a lot of youngsters nowadays driving like Honda HR-V, your Mazda CX-5, or even the Toyota Corolla Cross. Okay, all these cars ranging from probably 130 to even 170,000. Okay, so how much would the installment be, say, if you are getting 150,000 worth of car, right? Installment, probably if you take a 9 years loan, maximum loan, is probably about 1,008 and 1,009 per month. Now, if you were to use the same amount, what can you buy in terms of property? You get a 20 years loan, you can actually own a house worth 300,000. Now, of course, then the question is, then should I buy a car or should I buy a house? Now, I always ask this question. When I first came out to work, right? I was actually taking public transport. Okay, and even my first car was a car that passed down from generation, from my granddad to my father and then to me, and it was a 1985 Honda City. It is a very old car, but at least I do not have to pay the installment. So there are three things that you need to consider. Okay, now remember these three things. The first thing is, do you have a choice? What are the choices do you have? Number two, what will be the value in the long run? And number three, how is your cash flow going to be like in the long term? Now let's look at if you are talking about getting a car. All right. Now, if you're paying 1,008 or 1,900 to own 150,000 vehicle, you ask yourself, do you have any other choices? Okay, I've got friends working in the KL City Center. Every day if you drive to work, you probably have to jam for 2 hours, and then you have to pay a very expensive parking, right? Probably 500 additional every month, and then you have to pay your petrol, you have to pay your toll, and end up, what my friend did was, he decided to take train. And do you actually need to own such expensive car worth 150,000? Do you have any other choices? Okay, number two, what will be the value in the long run? What will be the value of your 150,000 car in 9 to 10 years down the road? And that will probably be 40,000. And that also depends on the brand, the model, and the condition of the car. And number three, what will be your cash flow, right? Cash flow like? For the first 5 years, of course, your car will be covered by warranty and things like that. But after that, how much are you willing to fork out in terms of wear and tear maintenance? I still remember I have an old car, all right, about 10 years old. It's an imported car, right? And every year, just to maintain the wear and tear, it cost me additional 4,000 to 8,000 per month. And with that money, I can actually do a lot of things. And at the end of the day, I decided to sell it off. So let's talk about owning a house, okay? Or if you have the 1,008 or 1,009, say you purchase a house that's worth 300,000. Now, of course, we look at the first one. What are your choices? Well, you can have a choice to rent or own, okay? If you rent, I have another episode to talk about renting versus owning. If you rent in the long run, you are actually helping the landlord to pay for his house for free. That is if you're renting the house. But if you're owning, 20 years down the road, the house belongs to you. You then have an asset for yourself and your family. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, you got to ask yourself, what are the choices you have? Number two, what will be the value of your property 10, 20 years down the road? Okay, I have did another episode that talks about the inflation, right? And as all the material cost goes up, construction cost goes up, eventually your house prices will go up. 10, 20 years down the road, what will be the value of your property? Will it go up or will it go down? Number three, cash flow. When you have paid off your house in 20 years, you can then decide, okay, I'm going to buy another new house. This house, I'm going to rent it out. And by renting it out, you will have positive cash flow every month. Okay, so these are the 3 points for you to consider. Whether if you're 1,008 or 1,009, say assuming you are getting a 150,000 car, should you be then spending your money on car or should you be spending your money on house? Do drop your comment. So if you like what I share, do follow, subscribe, like and share. See you. Bye.